Okay, hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? Hope everyone is fine. Having a good Thursday, the 19th of January. Good to be here with a very, very exciting recap of yesterday's 360. I did say beforehand, you never know who might turn up. And lo and behold, CEO ASH MUFAREH popped on, which was absolutely fantastic and amazing. To see him on there. He looked pretty tired, really, didn't he? I thought he looked pretty shattered, to be honest. And obviously, our thoughts were reflected in some of the things he brought up on the 360, obviously, which is what I will be going through here as well. But certainly good to see him on there. And he certainly didn't disappoint, did he, as well, with the information that he gave us. There was an awful lot of reading between lines. My opinion, my gut feeling of what I'm sort of gauging from all this is there is an outside influence of governmental, lawyery type of people who are pretty much climbing all over ASH MUFAREH at the moment. And he has to be extremely careful with what he says. And this is why he can only say certain things. But in between saying what he's saying, he is giving good indications of what he really means to say. And this is where we as founders, us as leaders, try and decipher ASH speak to put it into some sort of perspective of what we think and believe of what he is saying. And remember, when I am doing these recaps, I must reiterate that, yes, a lot of the things were said in the recap of what ASH MUFAREH says, but also I am putting my own opinions in here. I am putting my own thoughts in between just to try and make it a bit more understandable. This is not necessarily from the horse's mouth per se, from ASH MUFAREH. It is a lot of my interpretation as well of what I thought, recalled from the meeting that we have with ASH as well. So without further ado then, let's get started on the recap then from the ONPASSIVE 360 with myself, Marty DeGarmo, and Chris Johnson from yesterday, the 18th of January. So Ash came on, which was absolutely amazing. And he asked us all a question. He said, when corporate is not sharing with us, he said, do you think things are moving and things are actually happening? Things are productively moving forward and behind the scenes? And the answer to that is yes, they are. He did make a specific point of asking this question. Why? Because he actually hasn't been around of late a lot, because he's deferred a couple of these meetings, and people were in a bit of a position of thinking, well, we haven't seen him for a while, what's going on? And he said when the company is on a roll and the teams actually just don't like to stop just to give us news publicly. They want to carry on and get moving with the things that are happening. At the moment, ONPASSIVE really is extremely warm, he said. In fact, it's on fire. And so not all the time it is pertinent to give public information. Every day is constantly busy at the moment, he said. He talked about the important event coming out on Saturday, and he wanted to make sure that we are all going to be attending this. He said we are going to be sharing, and this is one of the very important things that came out of yesterday's webinar, of things that are done. If you remember, in the past, he shared about things that are coming up, what he wants to achieve, where things are going, and etc. like this. He's changing this now to when we have meetings, he is going to be sharing things that are actually done. Whether they're finished or not, I don't know, but he will be sharing with things that have actually been done. Big point. He said, so patience really is the name of the game. He said, this challenge is within the game is to actually stay patient and actually not rush things. It really is important to achieve the things that we put out there in a timely manner. Okay, we actually are going for quality of products and everything else to do with the ecosystem. He said this is absolutely amazing at the moment, and the company are striving for that excellence within the products that they are producing and all the work behind the scenes. You only have to look now at ONPASSIVE Station, what they've done with that, the banners going over the walkway, etc. This is excellence, guys. You won't see anything as good as that anywhere else in Dubai at the moment with what we have done with that wrap. That is one thing I'm sure we're going to get massive update on Saturday all about. He also said, don't take everything on a business level. He said, ONPASSIVE really is much more than just all about products. He said, there is so much more to it. He said, that's really easy, just talking about products as far as a business is all concerned. But the key and the way that we are doing things so differently is we are making an impact on human improvement, giving higher values. Now, this is something that is much more difficult because the old way of doing business is all about that profit line, isn't it? It's all about that sale. It's all about the product. With ONPASSIVE, yes, we have got products. Yes, we have got services. But it's about the human impact, about the value that we are giving. Now, this takes a long time to achieve with most companies. In fact, I have never come across a company who's putting that in front of profit. And this is what's going to make us stand out. Why has he gone down this route? Because one actually follows the other. Most people talk about profit. We talk about value. But money follows value, guys. If you give somebody something of value, they are going to love it. They're going to buy it. And that's where the monetizing comes in. This is where ONPASSIVE is at. This is what ONPASSIVE is all about. If you get that one thing, he says, then you get exactly what ONPASSIVE is all about. So Saturday is going to be another milestone. Okay. The last 2 months, he said, have been extremely productive. In fact, it's been so productive, and we are now actually getting other people from other countries joining our teams in Hyderabad. And the reason they are going there at the moment is because they actually want to accelerate the process that we are in at the moment. He talked a little bit about money and compensation plan. He did go off on a little bit of a tangent. But the bottom line of the money and compensation plan is this is going to be talked about very shortly. Whether it's going to be on this webinar or the next one, it is that type of time scale that we will know a lot more about that side of the business. He said, he then talked about founders and about how the early founders came in probably just for the money. That was their main element that they were looking at. And that is really what helped build that founder base. But it's not like any other sector, he said. Being part of ONPASSIVE is much more. We are now much more focused on a different message than we were just about the founders. We are now public. It is about the customer. And this is now the company focus is about that customer base. So all of that old rhetoric about making money and all the rest of it, that's completely changed now. We are all about value, products and services. He talked a little bit about the reseller process and how this is going to be focused first on the founder. Now, this is really in his eyes one of the major benefits of what that founder's position is. Why? Because we get it first. That reseller's position within ONPASSIVE, the ability to share our reseller links, okay, the product links with other people first before anybody else. This is such a big deal, guys, and you really need to understand that that is one of the major deals that the company are trying to do. Anthony Abetti, thank you so much for your super sticker. I'm reading at the moment. If I'm missing people, I'm so sorry. Pedro Jose Entrada as well. Thank you for your super sticker, guys. I will keep checking if I can. So this is going to put us well ahead of the pack per se, as far as customers is concerned, because we will be getting those before other people. And he said many times as well, by the way, guys, that the foundership are always going to have it first before other people, whatever it may be, whether it's the first look at the products, whether it is that referral link, whether it is the reseller's position. All of these things we will be getting prior to the customer base. So the company, he said, has never been in a better place than we are right at the moment. And that is really music to my ears, knowing that we are in the place that ASH MUFAREH wants us to be right now, and we are moving forward with the plan of ONPASSIVE. He also did say there has been an awful lot of challenges, and he actually went on to say that we probably won't be seeing as much of CEO ASH MUFAREH as we have been in the past. If you remember, for the last 4.5 years, until the last sort of 6 months, it really has been all ASH MUFAREH. He is the one who's been in front doing the webinars, bringing us up to date from a corporate level, etc. He's now got a team around him. In fact, he called them the dream team that are around him. And it's my feeling and understanding that he is going to be taking a much more back stance within the company. Yes, is he going to be CEO? Of course he is going to be. But as far as being front and center, in front of the cameras, in front of information, a lot of this is going to be taken up by the O-Media team, and I also believe our CEO Mohammed Kamal as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if other people come into the fore as well in a corporate level to bring you guys up to speed with what's going on. This is good for the company, by the way. It is much better that he takes a step back rather than being front and center. Just ask yourselves, why are you in ONPASSIVE? What are you wanting out of ONPASSIVE? Isn't it to give you a better life, to make your life easier so that you can relax a little bit more? Don't you think our CEO, ASH MUFAREH, wants those types of things as well? This is why he is giving us fair warning that he is probably going to take a bit more of a back step on all of this, and maybe we'll be seeing other people giving us information rather than our CEO. He also went on to say that the sacrifices that he's made as far as the company is concerned have been monumental. He said, but they've been so worth it. And that is because he wants the company to maintain this ethical stance about everything that's happening, especially those who are involved. Even if he's not here, the company is going to move forward. And really, that is the focus of what he has, is to make sure that that focus of the good of the company is taken forward throughout all of the departments, the levels, us as founders, etc. He then talked a little bit about the My Links and the contacts and my contacts, okay, and about what and how he wants these to be actioned within the company. He said, no, he talked a little bit about normally if you have links and you have contacts, these are not global, okay? They use specific data and it's not on a global scale. You can normally only target various countries or these types of things. With ONPASSIVE, your links, your contacts are going to be global universally, throughout the whole globe. You will be able to get those links to anybody in the whole planet. Okay, it is so complicated and entails a huge amount of security, encryption, etc. He said that it really is hard to do. And then he went on to say, talking about encryption, he said certain applications that we are running right now, including ONET, have been causing certain problems in certain countries. Why? Because they don't like to have stuff encrypted. They like to have this open, we can still spy on you, we know your data, all of these sorts of things in all lots of different companies. Ash was adamant, and he said this yesterday, that he doesn't want to know anybody's information. It's not his thing. It's not what he's after. There's a much bigger picture for ONPASSIVE than getting someone's data, selling it, or allowing other people to see it. So it is encrypted. This means other people cannot see it. And this has been a challenge for certain countries, he says, that just don't like that. But he said we are getting there. They're starting to understand it and all the rest of it. He then talked a little bit about single sign-on and how important this is to access the ecosystem. This is a major significance, guys, to be able to have that single sign-on and then access all of the products and services of ONPASSIVE. It is a challenge, okay? But it is something that we have decided to do as a company, and it is something that is going to happen. He said one change in one application, this will carry over into other applications. This is a huge undertaking. When one thing's changed in one area, to have that then duplicated across into other areas, the coding that goes into that is a huge accomplishment for the tech guys to be able to do this. It is almost milestone tech work that has gone on behind the scenes just to be able to develop a single sign-on to various platforms, to various products, and then also to have anything that you edit within one of those to then carry forward into all of the rest of it. Big, big deal. So takes a lot of work, he said, in the IT development to accomplish all of these. Hang on a second, just make sure my dog's not barking. So to make all this data work seamlessly from one application to another is a challenge. And the IT tech guys, they're almost there. In other words, it's absolutely mind-boggling, he said. So my contacts, my links, referral links, etc. He said all of this is going to be addressed probably on Saturday. If not Saturday, if we can't get all through it on Saturday, there will be another webinar to bring you up to date. He said the ONPASSIVE teams, they're incredible people, he said, and their abilities are much more and larger beyond what Mr. ASH MUFAREH's expectations have been. He said they really have gone above and beyond. They've sacrificed their personal time, their family time, their relationships even, to stay the course, to get where we want to do with ONPASSIVE. This is more than an employee, he said. These are people that have the heart of ONPASSIVE within them. They're not just employed by ONPASSIVE, he said. They are part of my dream team. And he said many at the moment are traveling to Hyderabad and to other destinations to get ONPASSIVE to where it needs to be. This is where they go above and beyond what is expected of an employee. So this has become a real revolution, he said. ONPASSIVE will change the game of how things are done within the internet space. Not only within the internet space, but within also business. People will realize that giving value is what people are all about now. It's not just about profit. It's about giving the customer something that they want. We have so many applications, he said, to reshape the lives of many with just the IT of the end game. That is possible. This is the backbone of what we are all about. And there is so much more in place that you do not know about. Up until now, he says, everything in the past has been a honeymoon period. You've taken it really easy. We're just getting used to it. We're now on to the bigger part of what ONPASSIVE is all about. This is where things start happening, he said. Everything will be legal and by the book, everything to do with commissions, everything to do with money. He said he will do his utmost to make sure that we get as much as physically possible that is legally allowed to be. Have things changed? Yeah, things have changed slightly from where we were before, but he made sure to tell us that we are going to be amazed by what is coming our way. Whatever is allowed, he said, we will do. This is what we will give, we be given to the customers in terms of value, past and present, and hopefully within the future as well. Value first, he said, outcome later. It's much better to do it that way. If you focus on the value, then the outcome is going to follow that afterwards. Everything is much better than okay, he said. In fact, it is above average. We are on fire. It's a done deal. We did it, and we will continue to stack in the goodness of what they are achieving. He said, he finished off by saying, if you're not in ONPASSIVE, then unfortunately, you might be a loser. Anyway, guys, that's it from me for this recap. I hope I've deciphered things slightly to make things a little bit understanding. But the bottom line of all of this is lots of updates are going to be coming on Saturday. Make sure you are there on time to book your seat. Whether it's going to be restreamed as well, I'm not so sure. We'll find out that nearer the time. But one thing's for sure, we really are now going to be kicking on. I think when all of the rest of the pieces come into play and put into place, we are then going to be kicking forward with where we want to be. He mentioned money, referral links, resellers. These are all the words that we have been listening for a long period of time. He mentioned them. Now we are going to come along on Saturday to listen from either ASH MUFAREH or the other corporate team members of what all this means. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Chris Johnson is coming on in precisely 7 minutes' time. Sorry, I haven't got time to give everyone a shout out at this stage, but I will do tomorrow. So come back tomorrow, same time, with another live from myself. Marty's on at the top of the hour as well. He's going to be giving a recap. I believe Chris is coming on to tell us about his dreams. That's what he told me earlier anyway. Whatever that means, I've got no idea. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much and have a great, great Thursday. Bye for now.